So this is going to be a quick guide on how you can make your own 16 by 16 matrix display. Now, before we get started, I'm going to go through the things that you need for this. The first thing you're going to need is strip lights. Now, in this case, I'm using the WS2811B addressable LED strips. Now, I have around 5 meters here, but specifically you're going to need around 256 individual LEDs for a 16 by 16 LED display. To power the LEDs, I decided to go with an ATX power supply. The reason being that this one specifically is 450 watts and it can actually deliver around 45 amps at 5 volts, which is going to be more than enough to power our 16 by 16 matrix display. To control the LEDs, we're going to be using an ESP8266 running WLED. And we're going to mount the LEDs on this piece of foam board. Now, it would be better for you to use something like aluminium, but since I don't have any, I decided to go with a foam board. Now, maybe you could use cardboard, but I would not recommend, but this is fine. Now, before we get started sticking the LEDs onto the board, keep in mind that there is an end and a beginning to the LED strip. So this is the end and this is the beginning, and you can tell that by the little arrow right here. If you stick the first LED from, let's say, the direction left to right, the next LED you stick must be right to left, and then left to right, right to left, left right, right left. So keep that pattern in mind. And also, I kind of messed up by sticking them way too close to each other, so I had to go back, remove them, and then give them a little space so it doesn't really look so cramped. And then I cut out the board, and the next part was probably the most tedious, is soldering all the LEDs together. So all the 5-volt inputs and then the grounds must be soldered together, and then the data will be in the pattern that I mentioned earlier, where basically the end of one strip is connected to the beginning of the next strip, and then so on and so forth. So next up is installing WLED onto the ESP8266. So you just connect it to your computer and go to the installation website, and then select your device and then click on install. Once it's done installing, you can set up your Wi-Fi credentials, and after that we'll be telling WLED that this is actually a matrix display, so you can tell it the dimensions of it, which would be 16 by 16, the beginning and the end LEDs, and all those things. After the installation is complete, I unplugged the ESP8266 and then screwed it onto the back of the foam board, and then I soldered the 5-volt from the power supply and the ground to the ESP8266, and I wired up all the LEDs. So in this case, the data would be D4, so I connected the data input of the LED strip to D4 on ESP8266. And after that, you can enjoy your new matrix display. You can even connect it to external softwares that do matrix LED configurations, so you can display images, animations, etc. There are different settings for that. It's not that hard actually, it's pretty easy to do those things. So thanks for watching, take care, bye bye.